What's up, Chris here again, and today we're just going to do a quick visual overview of the different types of Glock 19 magazines that I have. Excuse me. So, all the way to the left we have the stock WE Glock 19 magazine. In the middle we have the Garter Custom Glock 19 magazine, and all the way to the right we have the Stock Arms Glock 19 magazine. So first of all, we're going to focus on these two, the Garter magazine and the Stock Arms magazine. First of all, I've done a couple of things to the Stock Arms magazine. I've filed out the paint here to get a little bit more realistic finish. I've done the same with the round indicator fields here, which is the same feature that Garter has incorporated on theirs. And the funny thing, I've done this by hand on my Stark magazine. You can see I did a pretty darn good job at getting it pretty close. Maybe even a little bit better than the Garter magazine. The last thing I have on here is a real Glock base plate and also a sticker. But anyway, the funny thing about these two magazines, we have the Garter one here on the left and the Stock Arms on the right. If you look at the back of these two, you can see that the outlines for the mold, the markings, the chamber indicators, everything is pretty much identical between the Stark magazine and the Glock magazine. So it looks like Garter, I'm not sure, if they're using the same mold or if they copied the Stark Arms Glock magazine or something. We can see here again this ridge line, identical. You have these little indentation marks. They're not exactly the same. There are a little more on Stark than there are on the Garter ones. Also, looking at the front, you can tell that the springs look pretty much identical. The tops of the magazine look pretty damn similar. All the way, down to this little indentation and the pin. So, in my mind, the Garter Glock 19 magazine is a Stark Arms magazine, but I would say that the Garter one has a slightly nicer finish to it. It's hard to see on video, but this looks and feels better than the Stark one. So there's another kind of funny thing to notice on here. Just to show you just how close these are, you can see that the fill valve is the same, but even more interesting, you can see the tiny marking in there that says 040. You have the exact same number on the Stark magazine. So I guess they could be buying these in bulk from the same OEM, but it seems kind of unlikely. I also found a similar marking on another part. I believe it's the follower that also has that. So let's see. I don't want to get these mixed up. Stark Arms here and Garter on the other side. Both come with the rounded gas rod rubber, as you can see. Anyway, also the other thing is the Garter magazine comes with a base plate that is identical. Like I said, I've replaced the Stark Arms one with the real one, but the one that comes with the Stark Arms from the beginning looks exactly like this. Matte finish on the Glock logo and the stamp number on there. So, if you recall from my unboxing video here a while back, I got a couple of these Garter base plates that I thought were going to fit on the Garter magazine, obviously. But if I tried to put this on here, I actually don't want to do it because it's such a tight fit. You can already see the plate is buckling inwards in the center because it's such a tight fit. Ooh, damn. So that's a bit of a shame, but the good news is, even if the garter plate doesn't fit, the real Glock base plate does fit. Now, I've had to do a little bit of sanding here on this round part for it to come out of the hole on the real base plate, but you can see that it snaps on there real good. It's a nice passive retention fit. So let's see. Looking at the stock WE magazine. Actually, take a look at this. Which is which now? God damn it. Yeah, right. So the one with the double cutouts. Oh, sorry. Here on the left is the garter plate. But if you look at the finish of those two, there's not a whole lot of difference. We've got a little bit of grease on here, but they look pretty damn good, the garter ones. And the nice feature that you get with the garter one is you have these cutouts to prevent it from slipping off when you're filling up gas. Let's see, but what I was going to get to is, here's the W magazine, and here's the garter magazine. You can see on the back, obviously the W magazine isn't as nice looking. It does have this little index tab, which the garter ones don't have. I didn't find that to be a big deal in terms of performance. The W magazine comes with the flat gas rod rubber. And you can see that the WE magazine here on the left is definitely not a clone of the Stark Arms or Garter one. You can actually tell that the feed lip is a little bit different, but I didn't find that to be an issue. And of course, WE magazine comes with a really horrible looking base plate. But good news if you have the WE magazines is that the garter, this is TM spec basically. Let's see if we can take a look. There's just a tiny bit of difference here in the ridge cutouts for where the base plate goes on. I'm not sure how well that shows up. But the garter base plate, it's a tight fit, I'll give it that, but it actually does buckle in a tiny bit, but not as much as on the Stark magazine. And you have to change out the locking tabs here for it to work. So if you have, god damn, if you have WE magazines or Tokyo Marine magazines, the garter Glock base plates are a pretty good upgrade in my opinion. So, what's the takeaway from this? Well, it looks like for the WE Glock 19, you can use whichever of these three magazines that you want or have most of. The main difference being the gas rod rubbers and possibly also the output valves. I haven't chroned all of these. I'm actually planning on doing a more in-depth test. But the other thing that you have to take into consideration, which I don't know how big of a deal it is, but we have the flat nozzle here. This is the Ace 1 Arms one, which matches up with the stock WE magazine. And on the garter ones, we have the curved gas rod rubber, which the garter Glock 18C nozzle that I got which does fit in here, has a curved nozzle which matches this. So either way you look at it, you'll be able to get a setup that is matching in terms of configuration. So yeah, pretty much the main focus here was just comparing the Garter magazine to the Stark Arms one, and that they're pretty much the same. I mean, there's really no mistaking. If you look at the markings, the seam lines, that those come from the same mold or the same factory. And like I said, what I found, I tried the WE-OEM magazine and I tried the Garter magazine in my Glock 19. Both of them worked. I believe that the curved rubber on the Garter gave a couple of more FPS actually than the WE magazine, but that could also have to do with the valves and all of that. So I would say they are compatible and comparable in terms of performance and all of that. So just a little bit of quick info there for you on the various Glock 19 magazines out there. I don't believe that you'll get away with using KJW magazines in a WE pistol. So I haven't tried that, not going to anyway either. So, but anyway, that was it for this video, and I'll see you guys next time.